Hi guys, today I'm going to be showing you how to make a very simple and easy design. This is called a basket weave pattern. You can do this on any size cake, whether it's square, round, oval, anything. Just do this technique and it'll work. So draw a straight line and you're going to go a loop and then you're going to do a dot. So across the line and then a dot, across the line and a dot. That dot is so we've got enough room for the next one. When we do the next line, we're going to have enough room to fill in the gaps. You'll see what I'm talking about now. So we're going to go down through the line now, and now we're going to fill in those gaps, as you can see. So those dots were just so we've got enough room to fill in the next line, and you only have to do that at the start. So then the rest of it, all you're doing is basically filling in the gaps. So you're going over every space that you've got, you just fill it in. So again, you go down. So now, as you can see, another line, and then you're filling in the gap and just going over, filling in the gap, and you go over. So this particular tip that I'm using is a Wilton Star Open Tip number 18. This technique works on any tip. So as long as it's a star tip, it'll work on any of them. The smaller your star tip, the smaller your weave's going to look. I'm using this one today on my cake because it's a fairly, it's like a medium. It's not so small and it's not so large. And the larger your tip, the quicker your cake's going to be finished. And to be honest with you, I've only got about an hour and a half to finish this cake today. So I'm going to be using this tip only because it's not so small. So it's not going to be a very tight weave. Just to show you, this is another tip you can do it with. Like, it's another star tip, but it's number 20. So the bigger your the bigger your tip is, the larger your weave is going to be. So as you can see, this one gets the next size up. The weave already looks bigger, and obviously if it was smaller, it will even look smaller. So these are some tips that you can use, but like I said, any open star tip will work. Now, the actual basket weave tip by Wilton is this one here, which is number 47. I personally don't like it. I don't like it because I find that it gives you more like a flat look. So if you want that flat look, then yeah, you can do the actual basket weave tip 47. But not just other than the fact that it's a flat look that I don't like, it's also because the tip is so thin. As you can see, I've left one on display for you there. It clogs up really quickly. So whether you're using buttercream or I'm using ganache today, but whatever you're using, you constantly have to wipe the tip, which is quite annoying. But with open star tips, you don't have to worry about that. So in between each one, I'm actually wiping the nozzle so it doesn't clog up, and I find that a bit annoying, and I don't like the flat look either anyway. So it's up to you, whatever tip you want to use. That's the technique you got to do, which is a really easy one. So now here I've got my cake. I've just covered my cake in some mousse. So now, as you can see, I went over, dot, over, dot, over, dot. Now remember, the dots is just on your first one. It's your actual starting point. That's where you're going to start the dot, start, dot. But on the next, you're just going to now, all you're going to do is go over and fill in the gaps. So as you can see, I'm going over and over and over. I've just covered this, just a crumb coat, just one time. This is covered in mousse, so it's very soft. If you are a perfectionist, you can actually draw out your line. So get a ruler and mark out gently on your ganache or whatever you've got that you've covered your cake in, and then you can follow those lines. And if you do it that way, you're going to get like a really nice, neat and even straight lines. But this is just for my mother-in-law's birthday, and we're just at home, just it's just tonight, not a big deal. So I'm just gonna really just do a freehand and just do it really quickly. But if you want to do it really nice and even, then I'd recommend that you draw out the line so you know exactly how close your weave is going to be, and you've got a line to guide you. So as you can see, there's really nothing else to it. You're just filling in the gaps and you're going over and over and over and over and over again. So now I'm going to show you, continue doing it, and I'll show you once I've finished. And there we go. So that's pretty much my basket weave cake. It took me about, I don't know, 20 minutes to do the whole cake. And I'm going to work on the bottoms now. The bottoms are doing the same thing, but just going downwards. So down and across, down and across. So it's a very, very, very easy, really quick way to make a cake look very nice. I personally like the basket weave design, so I think it looks pretty cute. Now, the only decoration that I'm going to do on this cake is the number. So I'm using Nestle melts. I've melted it in the microwave. I've put in a piping bag. I'm using this silicone mold, which I've purchased off eBay. It's a really nice mold. And then what you do is you just put in your Nestle melt inside the mold. You tap it to get a nice even, the chocolate goes in all the corners and you get a nice shape. You can use a toothpick, but I can't find where mine is, so I've just cut a little wooden skewer here, and you're going to put it in and you're going to put some chocolate over it, and that's going to basically give us a structure so we can use the stick to stick it inside the cake. You can make your numbers by fondant, but if you make it by fondant, you have to do it about 3-4 days in advance for it to firm up, whereas with chocolate it's only 5 minutes. So again, now I'm doing the 3, and I'm going to add my little stick, put some chocolate over the stick, and then once you've done that, you're going to pop it in the fridge. Mine took only about 5 minutes to firm up, but depending on your fridge, it'll be between 5 and 7 minutes. It shouldn't be longer than 7 minutes because it's quite small. And then, so now it's going to go in the fridge. It's been in the fridge for about 5 minutes. And now to release it simple, you're not pulling the chocolate, you're pulling the silicone mold. So you're moving the silicone mold around and then just slightly remove the chocolate. And there's my number 5. And again, I'm going to be don't play around with the chocolate so much because you can break it. So just move the mold around until it releases all the air, pushes basically the chocolate out. So, and that's my 3. So it's a really quick way. I love using chocolate and molds to get numbers because it just took me 5 minutes to do that. So now I've just melted my ganache that was left over, and I'm using a acrylic plate to put my cake on. And that ganache is basically going to glue my cake on the plate. So now this part is really up to you. Like, you can decorate it however you want. I want to use some fruits on it because it's a chocolate cake. So if you want to stick anything on the board, you just put some ganache, and then that will basically, once the ganache hardens, it turns to a really nice strong glue, and those fruits aren't going to move around. So that's if you want to stick some fruits on the board, or whatever you want to stick on the board. You can use your buttercream frosting if you make this with buttercream frosting, or whatever filling that you're using. So you can, now I'm just playing around with it until I'm happy with what I like. But I know I want the fruit because I think the fruit looks nice against the chocolate. And because it's such a rich cake, it's got mousse in it, and it's got a rich the vanilla cake itself is pretty rich. So I want to break it out with a bit of fruit. So as you can see, I've added some strawberries on the side. So that's what my end bit was. I decided to add some Ferrero Rochers and all fruits around the corner, but then I didn't like it. I just found those fruit look too uniform, and just, I don't know, I wasn't really happy with it. So I played with it again, and this time what I did is I put all the fruit all around the corners. So I've got fruit everywhere around the corners, and I preferred it like that. I thought it kind of looked a bit more me. So I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. I hope you watch me in the next one. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope you subscribe and share. Thanks. Bye.